Okay, so I've made some changes here to my AOW, the Mossberg Compact Cruiser 500. It comes with this really nice, really tactile, ergonomic, shock-absorbing grip, pistol grip from the factory. And as much as I like it, it was just leaving a little something to be desired. This is because it doesn't have any provisions, I think, unless you can get a quick detach, but it doesn't have any provisions for a sling. All right, so I wanted to be able to use a sling, and I kind of rigged this up on the little 550 cord with a square knot, and then ran it through the sling loop attachment to the pistol grip that comes standard on a Mossberg. And then I realized, it's got the finger grooves and it tells you where your fingers go. This one, it has more of a stippling, and then again this rear shock absorbing material, rubberized. But I didn't like how slippery this was, and even where the pad or where the palm goes, there's no swell to it, and there's no real gripping action on that either, because it's hard plastic. So I checked around online, and I was familiar with this concept as far as full length and collapsible stock shotgun stocks go. There's this from Blackhawk. They're kind of the parent company right now, and the subcontractor's Knox, and they have this. You just throw special operations on anything. Spec Ops stock, www.knox.com. I'm not plugging them. I'm not saying they're great. I haven't even fired with it yet, so I've yet to find out. But it feels the hand pretty good right now. I don't like how slippery it is. A lot of people recommend that you get grip tape for it, or even a Hogue over grip. But this breacher grip, it's got a spring inside of it, and it's supposed to take up the recoil and dampen it and reduce the felt recoil by having the receiver travel along here on the grip. It adds a little space, but what it does incorporate in the rear here, I'd hate to get smacked with that, but what it incorporates there is a sling attachment, and that works perfectly on this Blackhawk sling. I'm not sponsored by Blackhawk, and I don't necessarily endorse their stuff, but from what I've experienced on the whole, it works pretty good. I've had this since Afghanistan. That was like almost 7 years ago now. So, well, 6 years ago. But yeah, it allows you to punch out. It's got a little spring tension to it, or elasticity to it, and it allows you to punch out with this. But if you're taking it up with your firing arm, you'd really have to shorten this. But if you go out full, let's say you get up to a door, and this is unloaded. You get up to a door, and you got to breach it. You want to hug this with both hands, but let's say you have your primary weapon system, So for me, I'm going lefty. I'd have this slung the other way. I got my rifle left. I take that down. I hug this up against the door, get about an inch standoff, fire, step back, give it a kick. Everybody goes in. I follow with my primary firearm. It's a technique, but what I'm saying is this offers a lot of advantages, and if you don't have it mounted underneath the barrel in like a master key configuration, it kind of works. So you can probably also tell I've got a different laser and light package than the TRL2 from Streamlight, and the number one reason for that was because I couldn't find the remote switch for the one, and I didn't have the Picatinny rail spacer on the other, and it was kind of like give and take. So I didn't want to compromise. So I said, let's see what I got laying around. So I got this KM3. This is a test of systems here right now. I'm testing this recoil absorbing pistol grip. I'm testing this light that's notorious for blinking out under recoil. This is from Surefire. If you didn't already pick that up, quick detach works pretty good. But there's not a whole lot of real estate up here to put lasers and lights. That's why I kind of went with the combination and the compactness. But again, there's a compromise one way or the other. This is from UTG. I think I got the package here. Yeah. So it's a green expanded laser. You can get an idea right there. You can see it's larger than your normal laser dot. Supposedly, when it projects out to 50 yards, it's 8 inches around. It's about as big as your face. So it helps you track the target easier. I haven't zeroed it up yet. That's kind of what I'm going to do here in this test of systems. What I don't like is the narrow operating range that this has. Right now it's about 46, 47 degrees. This has an operating range of 50 to 100 degrees. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's kind of almost got like a strong point and then a fading point. It just doesn't seem like it's a complete dot. But at 10 yards, I can see it pretty well. And I'll try and put in a shot of that. So again, there it is at 10 yards on the target. And you can kind of see it's got a strong point, it's got a weak point. It's a weird kind of like crescent shape. And that was noted in some of the reviews on Amazon. So again, this is a piece of Chinese equipment. And again, it's coming from UTG. I'm going to get the Allen wrench out of there. 2.5 hours battery life, 5,000 hours roughly for the laser beam life. Comes with a pressure switch. Unfortunately, the pressure switch comes out of the battery box forward, so it has to make this weird looping kink back to where you would activate it. And I said, you know what? I'll just, if I have to use it, I don't mind it. I don't need it momentary and blinking out on me when I have to use it. I'll just have it constant on. That was my rationale. Yeah, this thing, it's got quite a bit of features, and it's what I was looking for in a laser, but anybody will tell you, you go cheap, you pay twice. This thing was 80 bucks, and I'm pretty sure I'll either be replacing it in the future or probably sending it back or trying to get a replacement, because I'm skeptical as to whether or not it's going to hold up to the recoil of this AOW. But we're going to do a long take on this, and I'll probably cut up the video later. Alright, so I got the laser and the light on. And what I'm trying to do is see if this fails under recoil. I'm going to put it center mass. Looks like it hit slightly left of target. That could be me. Actually, that's a good pattern considering it's smooth bore and only 7.5 inches. Alright, I'm happy with that at 10 yards. I'm going to put it center mass. Looks like it hit slightly left of target. That could be me. Actually, that's a good pattern considering it's smooth bore and only 7.5 inches. Alright, I'm happy with that at 10 yards. Again, I'm sighting this in at 10 yards. I'm not looking for this thing to be stretching out or doing a whole lot. The light's on, the laser's on. Probably just short-haired low. So what I'll do is I'll put this on center mass. That's actually pretty close. You'd think I might have set that up earlier. But I'm going to put this on center mass, and I'm going to run it down according to that pattern. I'm going to run it down about 6.5, 7 inches from here, just by eye, So hopefully I don't psych myself out while I'm adjusting this and move it around too much. This is not the most scientific or best practice way to zero this thing. So now I can judge where those are at. I'm going to continue to aim center mass. I'm going to put 2 down there. And I will tell you, it really dampens the recoil previous to other videos. So yeah, this as far as the test of systems goes, the shock absorption on the pistol grip is working just fine. Put another one on it. I'm going to go for the head this time. A little left to target. I'm going to go for the head again. I'm pleased with the accuracy on this. Yeah, it's definitely, it could probably use a thread locking compound because it is definitely coming loose under the recoil, massive recoil of 12 gauge AOW shotgun. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to consider that 0. Yeah, as far as the test of systems goes, the light seems to be functioning, but I only subjected it to 3 rounds. The laser, it's working well enough, but I only put 6 rounds on it. And I didn't run anything in any fast succession. So that's another thing I'll probably do. And what I'll do is I'll run 3 rounds, reload, 3 rounds, and then I'll see where everything's sitting. Turn the laser on, turn the light on. Turn the laser on, turn the light on. All right. Laser's still working, light's still working. Seems to held up to recoil now that it's torqued. Torqued, not twerked. I don't want you kids to get confused out there. But yeah, I'd say as far as any setup I've had on this one seems to be pretty preferable. Of a good pattern going on there from that particular round, that I'm satisfied with the effectiveness of it at 10 yards. So what I'll do next is probably stretch it out to 20 yards. I'll cut here. I'll stretch it out to 20 yards, and then I'll use one of my exploders because that seems to be some pretty precise ammo. It's got fins on it, and it's precision swaged. So I'll be sending that down the pipe, and we'll see how it performs. So again, I'll launch 3 of the exploders at 20 yards. Let me get that recording on this camera, and then I'll launch 1 just to see how it patterns at 10 yards, and then I'll show you. All right, we'll roll. I'll turn the laser and the light on again. I'll do some one-hand shots. Again, a test of systems. I want to see how well I can handle this recoil with this pistol grip. I think that hit the wood. Yeah, I got an arm hit there. All right. Oh, what the hell? See how it patterns. Oh yeah, that's a pretty heavy shot. I might do that one again. All right, everything still seems to be pretty tight. Light didn't blink out, laser didn't blink out, so good to go. Recoil easily manageable with this. I'm a believer. You saw I was doing some one-hand shots. A lot of people do that with a full-length 12 gauge, and it's an exploit because under the recoil, sometimes, I'm going to dry fire this. Once it fires, that moment of inertia and the mass of the weapon tends to cause, you know, the slide to reciprocate only slightly, causing a jam and a malfunction. So then what they have to do is they have to clear it, caulk it, push the release button, slide release button, caulk it again, and feed another round. Well, I could see where that would be a problem, but as you can see, this lockup is pretty strong on the AOW. I think they factored that in, and I didn't have an issue with it. So, you know, it's still tight. You know, take a little Allen wrench, put it in there, crank it down. Everything looks good. I'm impressed. I like this setup, and this is what I'm going to roll with on this, and until I find something better or it fails. Let's take a look at the pattern of that BB number 4 shot at 10 yards. Though I will tell you that it really noticeably rocked that paper. So we got a very significant amount. You can see that's where the BBs are, right there. And then that's the number 4 shot. You can see number 4 shot, BB, BB, number 4 shot, BB. But yeah, that peppered them something good. Got some in the face. That's I don't know anybody that's walking away from that. So 10 yards, you could imagine a much tighter pattern. In fact, let's get that on. Let's get that on film here. I'm gonna do like one of those 4-yard point blank ones. All right, so the whole idea of this is you're in a narrow hallway. You're in a narrow hallway, asshole comes into your house. Bam. You just fucking shot his guts out. All right? He's done. He's down. Where's he going? Nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. So yeah, BB and number 4 shot. Those are the first 3 that are up in mine. And then I got the buck and ball coming next on the reload.